What's going on, everybody? Eyecee here, and welcome to another NBA video. This one is for November 16th, 7-game slate. Hopefully you guys tuned into yesterday's video because a lot of the plays I was talking about and that were in my spreadsheet did really well. Again, Evan Fournier, Al-Farouq Aminu went off. Bradley Beal was my favorite guard play on the slate. He did great. Thomas Bryant almost did. CJ Miles was doing great in the first half, 14 DraftKings points. Karl-Anthony Towns, Rocco, Jeff Teague, Jared Culver, all of these guys I was really keen on after the news broke out. I updated my spreadsheet twice early in the morning and a couple of hours before lock, or right up until lock, so it's really worthwhile to check this out. It's all free. Everything here is free. Indiana guys let me down. TJ Warren got into foul trouble the whole game. Brogdon got injured. That sucked, but Harden and Austin Rivers were great. Westbrook wasn't. Philly guys, I wasn't too hot on any of these guys. OKC either, I wasn't really too hot on any of these guys. Rudy Gobert was the guy I liked on Utah, and he smashed 55 DraftKings points, the best center play of the night. John Morant, what a kid, what a guy, what a player. We're going to love seeing this kid play night in and night out. He's fantastic, man, and great play again tonight. Draymond Green finally had a good game. He smashed his 5.3K DraftKings price with a 36 showing. White Mamba almost won the game for the Kings against the Lakers, and LeBron James had a decent game, nothing exciting, but I wasn't really expecting anything crazy out of LeBron. So a lot of good plays again, but of course, you guys aren't here for that. You guys are here for today's take. Of course, if you guys want access to the spreadsheet and you are new here, just hit me up on Twitter at Eyecee DFS, DM me your email or put it in the comments below, and I will send you the share link. Of course, if you're new here and there's anything that I'm doing here that you like, please hit that like and subscribe. It's the only thing that helps me grow, and I'm trying to provide free content, and I'm trying to do this full time. So the sooner or the faster I grow, the sooner I'll be able to do that. So please hit that like and subscribe. Please support as much as you can. Retweet my stuff on Twitter. Like, comment, all that jazz. And hopefully we can build a solid community here and help everybody win some money. But with that, let's get right into today's slate. Milwaukee versus Indiana. This one should be a good game, in all honesty. Milwaukee plays at one of the fastest pace in the league. Indiana is a little bit depleted, so that should open up some value over here. This match could be a blowout, being honest with you guys. However, I don't really like predicting blowouts. With that said, Giannis Antetokounmpo at 12K. It's a very tough decision that you have to make here between Giannis and Harden. It's going to be tough to get both of them in your lineup. It's possible, but it's not optimal. You'd have to make a decision between one or none. And honestly, Harden has a real 100 DraftKings points upside in his pace-up matchup. He's going to be in a really fast-paced matchup against the Timberwolves. Both the Rockets and the Wolves play at a top 5 pace in the league. But the Bucks here, without Chris Middleton, also opens up a lot of usage for Giannis. And Giannis could get to his value safer than Harden. Harden is a little bit shooting dependent, even though Harden can still get you 50, 60 DraftKings points when his shot's not falling. That 70, 80 that you're really looking for is going to be hard to get to when he's not making his shots, whereas Giannis can get it done really easily and in less time. So Giannis is safer, but Harden has way more upside. So with that in mind, let's just keep going in the video. Giannis would be my favorite Buck, followed by Eric Bledsoe, who's also going to be seeing a little bit of a usage bump with Chris Middleton out of the picture. The matchup should be a little bit easier for him with Malcolm Brogdon missing, and his 7,300 price point is a great price for Eric Bledsoe. He's had some real good games under his belt now, and George Hill is the value play I like at 3,900. He is a little bit overpriced for a value play compared to some of the other options we have. However, he is a safe value play. We know he's going to come off the bench and he's consistent in his performance, even though it is mediocre. It's not going to win you a GPP, but it'll help you cash and open up some salary spots. So definitely someone to look at. And then Wesley Matthews in a revenge game here. He only played 22 games for the Pacers last season. However, you know, he's playing a lot of minutes, and if he gets hot with his shot, he could definitely smash his value, or he could definitely smash the price, his 4,100 price tag. Sorry, it's like 3 a.m. guys. My brain's like half working, but I gotta get this video done because I won't have time in the morning. On the Indiana Pacers side, there's a lot of injuries here. Malcolm Brogdon, of course, back injury last game, left really early, burned a lot of people. He's questionable, and I don't really know if he's play. A lot of people will be wary of rostering him, even if he does play. He should be a fantastic price in a revenge game narrative. Milwaukee Bucks just didn't pay him when they should have. If he plays, he should be a fantastic price. I'm sure the Pacers are going to try and feed him. And at 6,900, he's a lot cheaper than he has been in the past few days, so I don't mind getting to him. I don't mind getting to Domantas Sabonis or TJ Warren either. Both of these guys should see a lot more usage and a little bit uptick in minutes with all the guys missing. Miles Turner is questionable, so you got to keep an eye on the news for that as well. He's day-to-day. He was in consideration to play today, so he could very well play tonight. If he does play, he's in light consideration, especially if Brogdon also plays. But if Brogdon misses and Miles Turner plays, then I don't mind Miles Turner at all. And of course, if Malcolm Brogdon misses, then TJ McConnell would be the guy I'm looking at. He should get a usage bump offensively with Brogdon out of the picture. And Goga Bitadze, I'm still on the fence with him because, number one, he's on a minutes restriction. His minutes are being monitored. Until they're removed, I won't feel comfortable playing him. And B, Miles Turner's might be back, and that would really change a lot of things for Goga. Next game we have here is the Charlotte Hornets and the New York Knicks, and honestly, one of the better games to target here. People are going to target the Houston Rockets and Minnesota game or the New Orleans and Miami game. But this is also a really good game to target here. Charlotte plays at a decently fast pace with a lack of defense. New York is terrible, and everybody seems to have a really good game against New York. So a lot of things could happen here. Personally, I'm not super excited about anybody on the Charlotte Hornets tonight, with the exception of PJ Washington. PJ Washington should be in line for a good game here against the New York Knicks big men who don't really play all that great defense. PJ Washington's due. His price has dropped from 6K. He's been performing at a decent rate throughout the season, and he should have a decent game in my opinion. Cody Zeller's the other guy I wouldn't mind. I have light consideration as of this moment. Unless some other news opens up, I'm not really too excited about that. But there's things to consider here, of course. Dwayne Bacon could be back. Dwayne Bacon, if he is back and playing, then at 3,100, he's a good GPP place with his upside. Of course, Dwayne Bacon playing reduces Malik Monk's minutes. However, based on recent performances, that may not be the case, and Malik Monk may keep his minutes. He hit the game winner yesterday. He's been great in the previous two games as well. And we know Malik Monk was one of the better Charlotte players last year, so he could get his spot back in the rotation with the last few performances. So that could also risk Dwayne Bacon even if he is playing. So really got to keep an eye on the news for the lineups tomorrow and coaches' comments before the games. And the other guy is Nicholas Batum, might be back from his finger injury. If he's back, he could also cause a problem in the rotation. However, when he was healthy, he wasn't really a big part of the rotation. They were trying to go young with the younger guys, so he didn't fit that mold, and they were trying to, gravitate him out of the rotation. So I don't know how much of a role he plays if he is back, but that is something to consider. Aside from that, if Dwayne Bacon and Batum are both out, then I don't mind going back to Malik Monk. As of this moment, I'll be on the fence because we don't know about the injury news, but 5K is a decent price for the amount of upside this guy has. His usage is fantastic when he's on the court, and up against the Knicks, he should have a relatively easy time performing offensively, so I don't mind going back to him. Between Rozier and Graham, I'm not really interested. There's other guys I could get to. However, they're both decent plays. They have good upside. They both got close to 40 DraftKings points again last night, so definitely in the realm of possibility here again. Devontae Graham should still be starting, I think, but definitely keep an eye on the news for that as well. On the Knicks side, by far one of my favorite plays on the slate today is Julius Randle at 6,400. His price is too damn cheap, and he's going up against a Charlotte Hornets team that struggled against opposing big men all season. This is just too cheap, and a lot of these Knicks guys' prices is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. They're just priced too cheap for the amount of minutes usage that they've been performing and producing. All three of these guys, Randall, Morris, RJ Barrett, I like. If I had to order them, I would order them in this order: Randall first, RJ Barrett second, Marcus Morris second. Randall has just a lot of upside, and he is relatively safe. RJ Barrett is unsafe, but he has way more upside than Marcus Morris. And Marcus Morris is just consistent, super consistent. The price is fair for the amount of usage, minutes, and production you are getting out of him. The minutes are safe. The matchup is great against the Charlotte Hornets. Young team, fast pace, lack of defense. He should be in line for a good performance here. The problem with the Knicks is, and this is the main reason why their price is so low, is they usually get off to a slow start. None of these guys really go off in the beginning of the game, and whatever they do mostly in the second half, and they still somewhat perform and hit their values, as you can see, averaging 34 DraftKings points, 31 DraftKings points. But that's what, if they have a good opening quarter and a strong close, and these guys should smash their price. It hasn't happened yet. It will happen eventually. This could be the game. It's a really good matchup for them. So I like a lot of these Knicks guys. Don't mind me. I will be getting to a lot of Knicks guys. On the fence with Dennis Smith Jr. because the only reason he got 29 minutes was because Ntilikina got into foul trouble. So 5K is a little steep. They raised this price quite aggressively. Not really all that interested. Mitchell Robinson on the fence as well. He could smash his value in limited minutes. He's a light consideration guy for me as of this moment. I'm really interested in seeing who gets the starting nod. If Taj Gibson is still starting, then I might not be all that interested in Mitchell Robinson. However, if Taj Gibson isn't starting and Mitchell is back in the starting lineup, then I like him. He's just a point per minute monster. He can easily smash and exceed his value. The best game of the night, highest paced up matchup, highest scoring game on the slate. The Rockets versus the Timberwolves, who may or may not be without Wiggins, and the Rockets will be without Russell Westbrook, Clint Capella, Eric Gordon, three major components, and Daniel House, a fourth major component missing. Daniel House is still being considered for the second half of the back-to-back, but as of this moment, it's more doubtful than probable. With that said, Harden is the chalk of chalks. He's going to be crazy high owned, 12,200, 200 more than Giannis. He could, get 100 DraftKings points, and I wouldn't be surprised. So, not much to say about him. He's in a fast-paced matchup here. He can get anybody into foul trouble and out of the picture. You gotta be really careful when you're playing up against James Harden. So, if his shot's falling, he's doing all these other things all the time anyways. He could easily smash his price, easily get you 80, 90, 100 DraftKings points. It's not outside the realm of possibility. Aside from Harden, PJ Tucker should see a usage bump, a significant usage bump. He's not going to be handling the ball, but he's going to be one of the better shooters on the court. Harden's trusted lieutenant, if you want to call him that. He's going to be standing in the corner ready to shoot those threes, and then, of course, producing on the defensive end. But aside from that, Austin Rivers would get a decent consideration for me because of the amount of minutes he'd be looking at. The usage should also be up with no Russell Westbrook or Eric Gordon. He'd essentially be the second point guard or guard on the floor. Ben McLemore coming off of a great game. Finally a great game for Ben McLemore for the Rockets. Again, he should be more owned than Austin Rivers because people will see that he did a lot better than Rivers today. But Rivers didn't do bad either. Both of these guys are in consideration for me for sure. With all these injuries out, they'll be in a lot of my lineups for sure. And then Tyson Chandler and this guy Ian Hartenstein. Both of these guys I'm on the fence with. Tyson Chandler's 37 years old. It's a back-to-back. I don't know how much minutes he's going to get realistically. He could go out there and play the same amount of minutes he did today, but something tells me that's not going to be the case. Something tells me that Hartenstein is going to see extended run here. He played 13 minutes today. He had a decent outing, and he's going to be in a little bit of an easier matchup here against the Timberwolves today. So I could definitely see Hartenstein, stepping into the fold here and getting some extended run at minimum price. So keep an eye on the news about that. And then the next side of this game is the Timberwolves, of course. They're coming off of a back-to-back today as well. Karl Anthony Towns, 10,100. Seriously, who's going to stop him on the Rockets? No one. So he's a play for me. Jeff Teague at 5,100. He's priced way too cheap still. Take advantage of it. He's going to be in a lot of my lineups, especially if Wiggins is out. Wiggins' grandma passed away, so condolences to the Wiggins family. I doubt he's going to be back for this game, so look for Jeff Teague at 5,100. Robert Covington to take an extended usage role here, usage bump. And then Josh Okogie, Travion Graham, Jarrett Culver. These are the guys. I like them in this order. Jarrett Culver is a killer. He's a high-volume guy. He's not scared. He's confident. He could definitely go out there and have a crazy game. Travion Graham is the other guy. He's the cheapest of the four, but he also has great upside, and the shot volume is consistent. However, his usage is the lowest of these four guys. Josh Okogie's minutes are fantastic, but the floor is a bit risky. He's in a great matchup spot here, but he's competing with these other three guys essentially. But Josh Okogie is the guy that should be getting most run. He is the guy that they're looking towards for the future, either as a trade asset or an integral part to the rotation. Him and Jarrett Culver are the two guys. I should put it like this, actually. My bad. I just changed the order. As of this moment, it's Culver, Okogie, Graham, Layman. But that's about it for the Timberwolves side. Not much to say. These three guys should still see a significant run in this game. Pace up matchup. Houston doesn't really play defense, so should be a great game for both sides. Next game, New Orleans Pelicans and the Miami Heat. Another fast-paced matchup. A lot of people will be picking guys from this game, Houston, Minnesota, but this Pelicans-Miami game is also a really good game in my opinion. New Orleans is also missing a lot of people, and a lot of people are questionable as of this moment. Ingram, Lonzo, J.J. Redick, Okafor are all questionable. Josh Hart is out. So again, it's really important to follow the news here. If all these guys are out, then obviously Drew Holiday, Derek Favors would have to play extended minutes again. Derek Favors would see usage bump. And if Derek Favors is playing 30 plus minutes, then I'm all in on Derek Favors on any given night at 6,200 price. But same with Drew Holiday, his usage should be through the roof. And although Miami is a tougher defensive team, Drew Holiday is gonna have the ball in his hands with all these guys out. He's gonna be the guy that gets it done, and they're gonna have to rely on him. So you're gonna see that next gear Drew Holiday that we know he has, that he rarely ever flashes. But again, if any of these guys play, Brandon Ingram might play. I don't mind him if he plays. Lonzo Ball at 5,800. I probably wouldn't get to much Lonzo Ball against Miami's tough guard defense, but if he plays, that would change the Drew Holiday usage for sure. But Brandon Ingram's the guy that affects Drew Holiday's usage tomorrow the most. If he plays, then less consideration for Drew Holiday. If Brandon Ingram's out and these other guys play, I don't really care because Drew Holiday should still get a significant usage bump. I'm hoping J.J. Redick plays because 4,900 is a fair price for J.J. Redick for what he can do. If he gets hot with this three-point shot, he could definitely smash at this price, and it will also help spread the floor a little bit and allow Drew Holiday to get some easier buckets, and Derek Favors as well. Aside from that, Kenrich Williams is the guy I'm on the fence with, 5,300. We just don't know with all these guys questionable. If it stays like this, especially if Brandon Ingram is out, then Kenrich Williams definitely I'll go back to. Again, he's been smashing it. And then the other guy is Frank Jackson over Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I said in the previous video, Frank Jackson, I would bet on it, would be the guy that did better than Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and he absolutely smashed it. He has been playing with the Pelicans for over 2 seasons now, and he's a trusted guy off the bench. They know what he's about. He's a good offensive threat, and he does well when he comes off the bench. So extended run, extended usage, more minutes with these guys out, definitely in play. Price is reasonable for the upside usage and minutes he'll be seeing if these guys are out. On the Miami side, Justice Winslow is still out. Derek Jones is still out. I like Kendrick Nunn, Butler, Adebayo, Dragic here, but I also have some on the fence consideration for Myers Leonard and Kelly Olynyk. Both of these guys can go out there and smash. But Kendrick Nunn to start off with, it's a fantastic matchup against a fast-paced New Orleans team. They've bumped his price over Dragic, and while Nunn does have more upside than Dragic, Dragic has a safer floor and minutes and usage and all of that. Kendrick Nunn does sometimes get extended bench run. He gets benched for a little bit longer. He could get into foul trouble. His shot's not falling, so they turn to Dragic more. So there is that inherent risk with Nunn. However, he's one of my favorite plays on the season, someone I really enjoy, and the matchup is just really, really good for him. Jimmy Butler, on the other hand, this is also a great pace-up spot here for Jimmy Butler. He's a fantastic play. He has great usage, minutes, price, and the matchup is great, so I don't have any problem with getting to Jimmy Butler here. Same thing with Bam Adebayo. Both of these guys should be in line for a great game here. And then Goran Dragic, $100 cheaper than Nunn. In consideration, he's been playing really well the past couple of games, and he is the vet, proven vet. We know what he's about. He does have huge upside. If he gets hot, he can smash value in limited run, and coming off the bench is really working for him right now. So he does come off the bench, but he does close out the games as well, so there is that to note. His minutes are secured, and he's a relatively good play. Hero is a risky play with a lot of upside. The price is relatively fair for Hero right now. $1,200 less than Dragic is Nunn, and Nunn is fair, but he is risky. And Duncan Robinson, he should be starting again with Winslow out. He has limited upside, a low floor, so not really that interested in him. Okay, next game, Portland versus San Antonio, and the Portland Trailblazers. I'll just start with Damian Lillard. I like the 8,700 price range on this slate today. I have nothing wrong. I don't have any problem. DeJounte Murray should be resting, so that should be an easier matchup for Lillard. Lillard and Aldridge are friends, so that should be a little bit of incentive to try a little bit harder. I like these type of friendship games. It doesn't really mean much, but sometimes friends just go off harder against each other, and they're more confident playing up against each other. Not that Lillard lacks any confidence, but definitely this could be a spot where Lillard goes up 8,700. He's been averaging around 51 DraftKings points on the season. That's almost 6x at this price. San Antonio is not the defensive juggernaut that they've been known for in the past. They also play at a reasonable pace in the league this year. Let me see. New Orleans plays, or San Antonio plays just in the middle, so right at the halfway mark. So it's going to be a decent pace game, not slow, not fast. Lots of opportunities for these guys to eat, and Damian Lillard can definitely get it done. CJ McCollum, the other guy, he's been much more consistent in the last few games. He's decently priced for the upside, so I don't mind getting to him. Rodney Hood, if he plays, I have consideration. It's just at 4,600. He's a little bit risky, so I don't know how much I get to him. Hassan Whiteside is the other guy. I love Hassan Whiteside's price, the production, the upside he has. However, there's just some other guys at this price that I wouldn't mind getting to today. At 6,300, there's a few other guys here that are relatively decent choices as well. There's Randall at 6,400. There's Derek Favors at 30 minutes with the injuries. Could also be a decent pick. So it's a decision here as well. But Whiteside definitely has the most upside. It's just he's a foul risk. It is a contract year for Whiteside as well. He is playing for a contract, so he's going out there and he's trying extra hard to perform night in and night out. So there is that. But Randall and Favors also have decent upside. But I would say Whiteside has the highest ceiling out of the three guys for sure. So definitely someone to look at, and definitely someone I'm looking at. And then the other guy is Nasir Little, who got a little bit of run against Toronto the other day. He got the start. Decent showing from him. Minimum price. Could be in a spot to go off here. He does have the upside. If the minutes are there, that should be good. But aside from that, I'm not really interested in anybody else on the Portland side. San Antonio side with DeJounte Murray out, both DDR, DeMar DeRozan, and LaMarcus Aldridge should see a good usage bump. Rebounding assist rate should go up with DeJounte Murray out of the equation. DeJounte Murray does both. He's assisting and rebounding at a really high rate on this team, so that should be a bump throughout to everybody. Same with Bryn Forbes. He's another starter. He should see a usage bump, rebounding assist rate bump with DeJounte out. In this matchup, it should also be good based on the pace. It's not a slow-paced matchup. The Portland Trailblazers do turn over the ball a lot too, so additional opportunity for the Spurs here. So these are the three guys in the Spurs I really like. Aside from that, Rudy Gay could see a reduced run here in the back-to-back game, so not really excited about that. Patty Mills should see a bump with Dejounte Murray out, so there's that to consider. Jakob Poeltl, if he gets minutes, he could smash Price easily if he gets minutes. It's just his minutes have been really inconsistent, so he's risky. Second last game, Toronto versus Dallas, probably my favorite one to watch. This should be a really competitive game, even with the Raptors' injury issues. Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam are playing playoff minutes right now. Both of these guys are in heavy consideration for me. OG Anunoby should be back, and his price is $1,200 cheaper than it was when he got injured. He's one of the most efficient three-point shooters in the league. He's shooting at a very, very high rate. And this kid has a lot of talent, a lot of skills. Look for him to make a Siakam-type leap this year for most improved player. Give it a couple of weeks. You'll see. He's a really good player, man. Really good. Both ends. Fantastic. 4,800 is a great price for the amount of usage and minutes he's going to be seeing with these injuries. And then Norman Powell is the other guy I'm looking at. 4,400. His price is $500 cheaper than the other day. Decent play. He is prone to putting up absolute stinkers. He could not get a shot the other day. But this is a bounce back spot for him against Dallas. They're gonna need his spot up shooting. He's gonna be getting a good amount of minutes, closer to 30, and this should be a good spot for Norman Powell. Definitely need his shooting. Aside from that, Terrence Davis, Chris Boucher, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, all of these guys are in consideration. With Chris Boucher probably being the guy I like the most. Chris Boucher, I have a very favorable view on, and he only played 14 minutes when OG was missing, so that's a concerning sign to say the least. But I'm a firm believer that this kid should get his opportunity with all the injuries here, and I don't mind going to him. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson is making the most of his opportunity. The price is fair, however, with OG returning, it's at a price, it's high enough where it makes me think about it. He definitely has the upside. It's just how many minutes is he going to get with OG back in the mix. I would say he still gets 24, which is relatively fine, but still a little bit riskier than I would like. Okay, on the Dallas side, forgot to color these guys, but Luka Doncic for sure, one of my favorite plays on the night. 10,300, $2,000 cheaper than Harden and Giannis. Also has 70, 80 DraftKings points upside. But on this night, honestly, Harden and Giannis would have to take the cake. I might not get to that much Luka unless a lot of value opens up. It looks like there might be some value opening up with all the injuries and stuff. But as it stands, Luka would probably be the third guy I look at after Giannis and Harden. Just because they just are in much better matchups, and the injuries and all that give them a much bigger usage bump. Luka's also going up against Toronto, who's no slouch defensively. They're coached by a really good coach who has a lot of schemes. They're going to try and slow Luka down. They're going to try and do anything they can to get the ball out of his hands. They've slowed down LeBron and AD. They've slowed down Kawhi. Luka's next. They slowed down Lillard. So Luka's next, man. Believe it or not, it's going to be a tough game for Luka. Raptors are a very tough defensive team. And I don't really want to play Luka when I could just play Harden and Giannis in an easier matchup. So it's a little bit of a conundrum. Sorry I put him in dark green before. It should be light green. I like him, but compared to some of the other guys in the matchup, I'm not really there. KP on the other end should have a little bit of an easier time against the Raptors team, particularly Marc Gasol, who's moving like a lethargic snail. I don't know what's Marc Gasol's problem right now. I think he just needs a couple of days off and just relax. But as it stands, KP should be in a great matchup here. Serge Ibaka would mainly be the guy causing him troubles. They're going to have to put Siakam on KP. And Siakam's a decent defender, but Siakam also has foul trouble problems, so he could be somewhat subdued against KP and more tame, allowing KP to have a more offensive contribution in this game. So Kristaps is probably my favorite Maverick. Aside from Kristaps, Dwight Powell is the other guy I have consideration for. Dwight Powell is finally taking the minutes over from Maxi Kleber, and for good reason. He has way more upside. He's the better player at the end of the day. Maxi Kleber is great off the bench. But I like Dwight Powell at 4,900. And then all the other guys in blue here, they're still rotational players. They get mediocre minutes. They have mediocre production. Some days they can be really, really great. Some days they'll be really, really bad. I don't want to chase them. I'm not really sure when these guys will be good or when they'll be bad. So I don't want to really figure that out. And although DeLon Wright is a revenge game for DeLon Wright. He was supposed to be a very important piece for the Raptors. They ended up trading him, and 3,600 is an enticing price for him. He can go out there and exceed value. His 40 DraftKings points upside is just risky with his minutes not being consistent, and he's prone to stinkers as well. So all of these guys I'm not really interested in. If I was, it'd be DeLon Wright. Last game of the night, Atlanta versus the Clippers, and this is going to be another great game. Confusing with Paul George and Kawhi, how it's all going to work out. Confusing because we don't even know if Kawhi will play right now. He's questionable. But alas, let's just start with the Atlanta side. It's going to be a tough matchup for Trae Young, but he could definitely exceed value. I mean, it's Trae Young. He's been playing out of his mind. He did burn a lot of people the other night, so his ownership is going to be a little bit lower. People are under the impression Clippers are a really good defensive team, and they are. So that should really hinder his ownership. Should be relatively low. I like playing low ownership guys with high upside. It's an easy way to differentiate yourself in tournaments and make big returns. So it's a good spot for me to play Trae Young. It is risky. It definitely is risky against the Clippers, who are going to be really thirsty to get a W after some subpar, terrible performances. But Trae Young, definitely 9,400. I don't mind getting to. Again, though, it is Harden on the slate. There is Giannis on the slate. There are some other guys on the slate that we can get to, but Trae Young's upside is fantastic. Usage is phenomenal. One of the top 5 usages in the league, so definitely can get there. And then Cam Reddish is the other guy I'm looking at. The other day I was really high on DeAndre Hunter at 4K, and I was spot on with him. He got almost 30 DraftKings points, exceeded value. Now I'm saying Cam Reddish, 3,700 for the amount of minutes he's getting with Huerter out, Vince out, and Vince still got 14 minutes a game, so that's crazy. So those are a good amount of minutes. It's almost 40 minutes to go around here. Bembry is very limited in his production, and he has inconsistent performances. Jabari has been getting a good amount of usage and run with John Collins out of the mix, but Cam Reddish I think is due for a good game now. His price is reasonable. 3,700 is a fair price for the amount of minutes this kid has, and he should be able to have a decent game in my opinion against the Clippers here. So I don't mind him. And then I'm on the fence with DeAndre Hunter again because, again, I said I was all over him at 4K, but at 4,700 against the Clippers, he's going to have to do a little bit more defending, spend a lot of time defending, chasing Paul George and friends around. So I don't know how much offensive upside he has, but I'm on the fence with him as of this moment. And then as well as Damian Jones, this guy has had some great performances, 3 in a row now. Last one was really, really great. He was like 0.6% owned. He got 30 DraftKings points at 3K, so 10x. I don't mind rolling the dice here. He should be in line for another decent minutes bump here. We don't know the deal with Alex Len, but if Damian Jones is starting, I really like him at 4,100. I don't mind. On the Clippers, of course, we got to keep an eye on the news for Beverly and Kawhi Leonard. If both of those are out, I love Paul George at 7,900. He dropped 49 DraftKings points, one of the best debuts in recent history. He's the guy I don't mind going with here. It's going to be hard for the Hawks to really stop him. He was an MVP candidate last year, a really good fantasy producer, so I don't mind him whatsoever. And then Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell and J. Michael Green are the other 3 guys I'll be looking at. Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell should probably be starting if Kawhi and Beverly are out. And then J. Michael Green should finally see good run. He burned a lot of people the other day, but it was a back-to-back, so it makes sense. He should be good to go in this one, and at 4,400, he could exceed value relatively easy. With Landry Shamet still out, there's a good chance he goes out there and has a good run. So that's it for today, guys. That's the video. Sorry it was a little bit fast-paced, but I kind of want to make shorter videos now. But yeah, I'll be updating the spreadsheet throughout the day. So if you want access again, just DM me on Twitter at Eyecee DFS. Send me your email and I'll share it with you. And please like, comment, and subscribe to help support the channel and help me grow. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and best of luck tonight. Take care. Bye-bye.